And you are live, darling.
All right. Let's see if we can't sound like a Matthew McConaughey in here tonight.
Yeah.
Welcome to Crazy Creativity with Ms. Wendy Quick here on Real Talk 100 radio station. We are so happy to have you during this time of hour of fashion and modeling and art and just everything creative. I'm here with my co-hosts. I might as well say co-hosts with a plural because I have both of my lovely, beautiful daughters, both Summer and Candace here, Miss Rose and Miss Candy Cane. We are so thankful and happy to be in the house tonight. All right, so we're going to be talking about everything fashion and runway tonight, y'all. And I'm talking big runways. I don't know how many of y'all watch Fashion Week or New York Fashion Week or pay any attention to some of these runways, but there have been several lines that have been brought out. Chanel brought a new line. We've got a Vogue fashionrunway.com. They're one of the fabulous runway shows. They spotlight lots of designers. They just had another show. And let's see, Summer, who did you say that? Prada, right? Mm-hmm. So you're going to be talking about Prada tonight. Yes.
I know everybody's seen them videos. It's all over TikTok and Instagram and everywhere.
Oh, yeah. TikTok, Instagram, everything. And let's see. I've got to talk about this fabulous person next to me that I'm going to push her into designing fashion. She did a nice, beautiful piece for me. I'm so excited about that. Hand stitched it. I've already tried it on. It is perfect. She's going to do some final touches for me, doing some gem adding. So I will have me a fabulous
sparkle.
Christy Teigen inspired fun fashion for my Vegas.
Nice.
Yes, I'm so happy about that. All right, Miss Summer. Well, why don't you go ahead and start us out with something about the Prada? Let me take this out of my ear. Since you say that Prada is there. Oh, wait a minute. My live may not be hearing me if I don't put this in my ear if it's Facebook, huh? I wonder if that is happening. Okay, people, if you're watching my Facebook Live, tell me if you can hear me. I know you can hear me on the radio. So if you can't hear me on Facebook, we want to make sure you have my radio station. Anyway, go ahead and tell us a little bit about that show, Summer, and some of those pieces that you've seen.
Not only did Prada unlock all of their new women's bags, but they also did some purses for men. And they've re-editioned some of their 1995 purses.
Hey!
1995 purses have made a comeback and a redesign.
Oh, now I like comebacks. I like bringbacks. I must say I'm really big on the things like old bell bottoms and platforms and stuff like that. Was there any of that in there?
I do believe they had some thigh-high boots coming out and some different skirts for the women.
Ooh, who doesn't love a good thigh-high boot? I'm telling you, thigh-high boots will make you, I don't care who you are, it will make you look like you got legs from hip to toes. Oh, that's right. You do have legs from hip to toes, huh? No, but that boots do make you look a little longer on most occasions. If you have the proper boot to fit, it will look fabulous on you. Wouldn't you say, girls?
Definitely. I love my thigh highs.
You love your thigh highs? Oh, and she's already got your thigh highs. Oh, and look, they say they can't hear me. Okay, so I'm going to go off this live on this one, and I'm going to put up a different phone. So anyway, while I'm on the station and I'm pulling this up, any of you that have not followed Vogue Fashion Runway, I highly recommend it. Highly recommend it because they show all over the place It is fabulous the way the design, some of the designs that they facet. And so you can actually find them on Facebook. They just did a show. I believe it, I want to say Atlanta is where they were. I bet y'all can hear me now, huh? I hope so. Here we go. And they were in New York Fashion Week. But even better, I got one for y'all. I seen a local fashion line debuted on the Beautiful You Tour in New York. I was so excited about that. Let's see if this works a little better. And they're actually here in Houston. So how neat was it to know that a Houston designer made New York Fashion Week with one of the places that I follow and I watch? Because I can tell people Miss Summer is part of the Beautiful You Tour. She's one of their models. We enjoy the Beautiful You Tour, which is actually fixing to be coming up in the South by Southwest show. We're so excited about that, aren't we, Miss Summer?
Definitely.
So if you do not have, I need a, somebody got a charge? All right, y'all. If I lose you on my phone, I'm sorry. I'm just going to.
What kind of phone do you have?
Seaport.
I do, but I don't have a plug over your area.
That's all right. So anyway, we are going to Austin to do the South by Southwest. And then we're going to be going after that to Dallas to do Snoopy Thompson's B-Day Bash. We're very excited about that. But let's go back to this designer. This local designer is called Oh Okay. Like, in other words, I don't like you. Oh, okay. Your butt's too big. Oh, okay.
I'd like to know when somebody's gotten told their butt was too big.
Well, I'm just giving instances, you know.
They would say that to me. They would say that to me.
I have a friend of mine that actually has been told that, and she gets approached in Walmart all the time about how her body size and she's trying to be something else or this, that, or the other. So I totally understand that. But I just really like the expression, oh, okay. And so I'm hoping that we secure them. I do believe that they still want to be part of our April 2nd Speak Up and Speak Out fashion vendor, modeling, art showcase. I mean, I just don't even know how to explain our show and production. I mean, when I talk about showcase, I mean showcase. We're going to have music. We're going to have art. I may even have a body painter for the evening show, for the talent portion. So I'm very excited. If you do not have your tickets, you need to get your tickets. You do not want to be missing this production. We are hoping to make this production like Vogue Fashion Runway, like Chanel, like Prada, like the New York Fashion Week. Let me tell you, the Council of Designers in New York City, they put some amazing productions together. And that's exactly what we want to do because, see, we want to make sure that our production is big enough that the awareness that we're going to raise hits the roof, right? I mean, what better way than to be showcasing fashion and art and beautiful models of all types and raising awareness about the different types of domestic violence, the stigmatics behind it, the repercussions and the trauma that we have to deal with afterwards when we have left it or during the times that we're there. You know, we're going to be honoring survivors. We're going to be honoring those that do into the community to help survivors. And so I'm really excited about this show. I'm looking forward to it. It's in an amazing spot. I really love Trophy Wife Event Center. So I'm really hoping that everybody gets their tickets together so that we can make sure that this show pulls together. It's an amazing venue. we're going to have VIP and general admission. It's a 2-part show. By golly, you can go to 2 shows at a buy one, get one half off if you get your tickets before this Saturday. Unless I decide to get my partners to push it an extra week. We never know. You can always push it an extra week. So if you want to get your tickets for this Speak Up and Speak Out show and showcase production, you want to make sure that you reach out to me or that you get your tickets on Eventbrite. If you want to get the buy one, get one half off so that you can be at both shows, you definitely want to reach out to me because that's only through me. That is the early bird special that we're calling it. Yes, Yumika, we're hoping it's going to be an amazing event. Speaking of Yumika, she is one of our honorees, Yumika Harmon with Reviving Restoring Pearls. I'm so thankful for this woman and the connection that we made through an amazing woman. And I dare say her sweet name, Tiffany Cavalli. She's no longer with us, but we love her dearly. But she introduced me to Yumika, and let me tell you what, I am so grateful for this woman. She has done amazing work with the company that she has, and the work that they do in the community to help women is just beyond amazing. I don't believe that there have been times that we would have been able to do what we did had we not had her and her crew. She has an amazing group at Reviving Restoring Pearls, and we're so glad to have them as to be part of the show. Are you kidding me? You're amazing. I don't know how to say any other way, Yumika. You're amazing. Reviving Restoring Pearls has helped me rescue several women in the last couple of years, and I'm very thankful for that. Because without groups like you, then when the beds get full, when Hawk isn't taking anybody, when Turning Point isn't taking anybody, when Bridge isn't taking anybody, you and I, we hit the streets running and we find those places and you know, we work together to make this work as a unit. And that's one of the most important parts, is making sure that we work as a unit together. And I'm so thankful for that, because with unity in the community, when we all see something and say something and we do something about it, then there's less of a chance for it to just go by the wayside. Y'all know what I'm saying? Like, without knowing all of this, we wouldn't be able to know that girls in this industry need to be careful and things like that. Because when you have those connections, you reach out and you meet people. See, had I not met you, I wouldn't have met other people. And then I wouldn't have learned all these things, and I would not have been able to help save some of my girls in their heartache. And I really appreciate this. And that, I think that's part of one of the biggest reasons why we want to do the show, the Speak Up and Speak Out. We're not fooling around with domestic violence no more, because, you know, it happens all over. There's no gender, there's no race, there's no age, there's no defining the limit of domestic violence. And we need to make sure that everyone is aware that they can actually put a stop to it. And when we can use our fashion and our art and our gifts and things like that to help raise the awareness, to me, I think that makes a better outcome. You know, nobody wants to sit back and listen to a lecture. But by golly, I will sit in a fashion show, and I will sit in a concert, and I will sit at these things, and I will listen to speakers and all these things. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm really excited about this. We have an amazing group of models, and I'm thankful for that. Where are you going? And so we're working together to make sure that both shows are very successful. I'm excited to see both of my girls perform. Both of them are going to perform and open up the showcases. Yes.
you should say wonderful group of models and growing because you have not yet.
Oh, I know that's right. Actually, I have, but I am still accepting very select few. While I'm sitting here, in case you are listening, I do have a select need for models over the age of 18 that are willing to wear skimpy, and I do mean skimpy bathing suits because I love Caesar's designs. But boy, oh boy, oh boy, it's they risky. And then Ms. Mika is bringing in her lingerie and her nightwear. And so I am looking for those that are okay with that. So if you're in entertainment and you go down that alleyway, well, we still have an opening for you. You can come present yourself at this and give yourself a little extra spotlight. Bring your fandom group along, because I know all of these entertainment people, when they get into that, they have groups that follow them. Also, we are still looking for vendors. I'm so excited about being able to have vendors this year. Now, do let y'all know. See, we're giving a bonus with our vendors and our designers. Because, see, a lot of showcases are very expensive. A lot of times to be able to put your designs out, to be able to vend and do all these things. And so we're doing basically a 2-for-1 kind of special when it comes to vendors and designers. If you're a vendor that has fashion of any kind, if you have art, if you have jewelry, if you have clothing of any type, you can basically get double the stone in one kill, because you can vend and showcase all at the same time. Because our models are going to be able to have basically a blank canvas for you to work with. If you have those kind of things, if you have like jewelry, we can accessorize some of the things. We can also showcase paintings and stuff like that, because the models will have a black attire. I'm excited to have Miss Grimes and her paintings. I love her paintings, don't you, Miss Summer? And for the life of me, I always forget her thing, and it's such a beautiful name, and it has to do with God. It's like Godly Creations or something like that. I'm gonna have to get her to pin it on my arm or something. Her daughter is also an amazing designer with Onyx Princess Apparel. So if you have children, you definitely want to be part of the first show if you're a person that's very fashionable about your children. Now, I did these things. My kids have come up on all kinds of fashions. They've had handmade clothing on more than one occasion. They've even had matching clothes, and it's very hard to do when your kids are 8 years apart and your girls are 8 years apart. It's hard to make a match. It is. It really is. And so I recommend making sure. Well, now it's not so hard. Yes, because now y'all almost the same size. She's catching up to you. I told you one day she would. All right. So let's see, Miss Summer. What kind of things do they have on Prada? That you said they have new purses, right?
For the men and women.
Men and women. So they had men's bags too. Hey, I know. I like that. You know, it takes a real man to know he can wear a man purse.
In fact, the model that they were using was Tom Holland.
Hey, there you go. So see, looky there. And then we've discussed knee-high boots, and y'all, Vogue Fashion, they had an amazing show. Some of their spring collection was so beautiful. They had maxi dresses and everything else. I was so amazed at some of the things that they had. The colors were amazing. The styles, some of them had ruffles, some of them were elegant yet simple. And so I really wanted to try to find out what designer it was. Let me see if I can pull that up now while we're sitting here. And Miss Candace, while I'm doing this, let's see. They have they have a show coming up June 18th in Arkansas. Couture in Arkansas. So you know that Vogue Fashion Runway is amazing. They have Cordo Mamalu, amazing person to be in the fashion industry, a special speaker. They're a celebrity designer, and so if you want to get into something like that, there you go. Also, I've heard that you can look for one of our local models, Mrs. Jira Grimes, on some small. I believe it was an awareness video or awareness show that she was doing, as well as she has done an Academy commercial and several things. Let's see. What else, Miss Summer? What else? Come on. You don't know? I'm surprised you don't know. Let's see. Oh, you changed your song for talent, didn't you? And she's going to open the first showcase. Miss Candace is going to open the second showcase.
I'm currently trying to listen to a song on loop to learn it on its wedding.
Yes. Now let me tell y'all about this. Let me tell y'all how special and sweet she is. So we all know that Ms. Rose over there sings, and she's a new outcoming artist. And so she's doing her aunt/cousin, because she's so much older than her. She calls her aunt, but they're really cousins, because she's my cousin. She's getting married on 4/10/22. So Miss Summer is learning one of the most amazing songs to ever have been written, The Rose by Bette Midler.
I'm listening to it in my ear right now.
So I am so excited to be able to hear her sing that. That is such an amazing song. And we all know she has an amazing voice. And if you don't know, you should go find her. I believe she's fixing to be starting YouTube videos, right? As well as you've got TikTok and Instagram.
I've got TikTok. It's not underneath the professional name.
It's not. Just you. Well, give yourself a plug while you're sitting here. Why don't you plug all your social medias?
My Instagram is just ms.rose.
Your Instagram is ms.rose.
MIZZ.rose.
Hey, did y'all hear that? So it's MIZZ.rose. And let me see if I can go find her on this TikTok and give out her things. Oh, you don't want your TikTok going out yet? Okay. And then you can look for her to come on YouTube soon, because she needs to get her videos and her singing and her voice out there. We're so excited about this. Let's see what else. I put Miss Candace on blast for designing already.
Okay, let's talk about an issue that my friends had to bring up this week.
Hey, all right.
We have the issue of why did they make it a point to put Black History Month as the shortest month of the year?
That's a good question. Fair question.
We've my friend group is all interracial. It's somebody from every race. And we all agreed on that one point. Why is it the shortest month of the year? Why couldn't it be one of the longer months?
Well, that's nice to know that that's something that you teenagers actually talk about and discuss. That means you could actually make a change in this world with that. Oh, yeah, my phone is fixing to die. So if you lose me on my Facebook Live, you can go over to Crazy Creativity with Ms. Wendy Quick. I'm on that Facebook too. Anyway, if you have any comments or questions about that, you can call us at 832-539-3838. And let's go ahead and start a live conversation with Ms. Rose over there. who brought up the topic. Why is it that Black History Month has had to be picked on the shortest month of the year?
Or if you just want to call us and talk about your favorite African American or colored, any type of colored, whether it be Hispanic or African American idol, dead or alive, because I have to do a Black History Month project. So.
Oh, look at her out here trying to combine the two things. So if you want to start a conversation with her about any of these subjects, you want to talk about who you think is a role model, or have a comment as to why you think that it's the shortest month, or want to agree with her, go ahead and call in to 832-539-3838. I kind of agree with you. I think it should be a longer month. Why did they make it the shortest month? It could have been the longest month. Even when you get a bonus day, it's still not the longest.
See, y'all are taking this negatively. Let's turn this around in positive. See, we wanted it the shortest month of the year because we want it to be a short month. We don't do that.
Hey!
I mean,
Well, I guess if you look at it from that way, that
the only
it's
thing
short
that me
because
and
of the
my
past.
friends could think of that would make it a nice thing is that it's in the month that's supposed to represent love.
Now, I like
Valentine's
that
Day, everybody's
statement.
in the love moon.
That it's
February.
actually in the month of love. Because what better way to express love than to completely embrace one another no matter what, right? That's an amazing concept that you kids came up with. What else did they say?
We also went into talking about how we had saw a video the other day, and it was a guy, and he was talking to like a whole group of people, and he was like, "All you see all of these marches for all the gay people and all of the BLM movement marches and everything. Why don't the straights and the whites get marches? They never had to fight for anything." That's the only thing me and my friends could come up with is the straights didn't have to fight for who they wanted to love.
Right.
Because they were accepted no way. They didn't have to fight for anything.
Correct.
And the whites had to fight for a few things, but we didn't have to fight for as much as everybody else did to be accepted. Because we thought that this was our land and it was our right.
Well, that's a
In the
true
past.
fact too. So I like those conversations. That's very good. Thank you.
We get deep in school and we don't know why.
You know what? It makes me proud that the new generation that's coming up in the schools and in middle school actually have these deeper conversations. Because if you don't, then you can't be the change that this world needs to help bring up that is needed. If you bring the topics to the table, then you can make a change. So that means that y'all are growing up to do what's necessary. And so when you're growing up, you're not doing like some of us. I didn't learn about politics until I got to where I was almost voting age. And that was probably pretty wrong of me because I kept going, it ain't going to matter. But it really does, because when you all boil down, your politics start around your local area. So if you don't know about your local politics and your local subjects and your local things going on, and you don't have these types of discussions, then how are you going to improve, right?
We have a history teacher, right? She wants all of us to start learning politics and everything at a young age so we can start understanding it better over the years. She just told us she'll give us extra credit on our lowest grade if we summarize or pick our best part in the president's inauguration speech. So if we watch that over the weekend and we summarize it, or we pick our favorite part, we talk about that, or we write about it in class, she'll give us extra credit on our lowest grade.
Nice.
Now let me make a fair point out here, because see, a lot of people don't realize how raising intellectually combined children is. Because see, these kids coming up like this, they're going to be the ones that make the changes in the laws. They're going to be the ones that make the differences on things that come to light. So how sweet is it that we've got a 13-year-old young activist sitting at the table that has a tendency to raise awareness for domestic violence of all several types, talks about politics, talks about fashion, talks about these kinds of things.
You know what else me and my friends talk about? The Bible.
And they talk about the Bible?
And
Oh,
middle
man.
school, too. My friend straight up raised her hand and was like, my mom and I were talking about the Bible the other day, and we were talking about how since World War III might be coming and Russia's invading people, then it might be the end because that's what it talks about in the Bible.
Well, unfortunately, you have to read a little deeper than that. We haven't begun to pay near as much as we're going to when those days come. The things are on the rise. I have noticed that. It's like the government's beating up on us, but I won't talk about that.
We're a little more than halfway there.
So anyway, back to fashion. So I have got confirmation, and Lisa, I'm going to let you know if you would like this as well. We need to make sure that you're here on the next couple of Saturdays that we have designers coming in. We're going to really do the hostess with the mostest kind of stuff. We're going to change. We're going to get to. I'm really pushing the multiple changes now. I've only seen this on the big shows.
I'm excited for my outfit for Miss Camario for when I'm performing.
Oh, I know.
love that.
Miss Summer already has a sneak peek at a special piece for her. So we're very excited about this.
I love my bonus mother. I love my bonus mother.
Yeah, that's what she calls her bonus mother. We love that. And so let's see. Oh my gosh. Y'all, I'm very excited about this new one that I've got coming. And let me see. I wanna here, let me go over here. I want to go make sure I get her name correct because I don't want to say it wrong. The name of it is Sparkles Boutique. Allison Sparkles Boutique. Is that what it is? Yep. Allison Sparkles Boutique. Now, this is also going to be at the fashion show. They have the cutest little girls tutus and dresses.
And skirts.
And they have some.
They have them for women too.
I was going to say, they have them to where they can go up to some of our sizes. They are going to look and see if they can get a partner boutique or one of her people she works with that has bigger dresses. See if they can work with us, but we're going to have some of the cutest little girls in their pretty little dresses that you could ever see. Her daughter is just adorable. Oh, there went my phone.
I think my phone's hanging out for dear life.
So, hey, you know what? That's why we have Facebook and the radio. See, the radio is where we really want them to come listen to us anyway, right? The name of the place that we're at is Real Talk 100 radio station. So we're getting down to the real talk here. That's right. The real talk. Let's see what else we have paintings, we have children's designers, we have bikinis. We've talked about fashions that have been going on. I'm sitting here dying because people are coloring and stuff next to me. I'm listening to music.
Yeah. You told me I needed to learn the song.
But you could have done it some other time besides our hour.
Yeah,
but
only an hour.
Let's see. What's going on right now in our area? The rodeo's going on right now.
It is. They had the rodeo.
Keith Urban, right? Keith Urban.
I think so. I think it is Keith Urban tonight. There you go. We found a subject. They said they had record numbers for the rodeo this year, though. For everybody coming back, they have had just about record numbers.
Wonderful.
Early turnouts. They have had people showing up at the rodeo earlier than usual. It's been absolutely full, and some of the fashions are just amazing. You got sparkly boots, you got amazing hats, tight jeans. Well, okay. Tight jeans always go with the rodeo, y'all.
Sometimes they're boot cut. Not all the girls want to be too tight.
That doesn't mean that they're not tied around the behind.
No, that just means they're tight in all the right places.
Well. I would say somebody's been looking at cowboy butts.
Hey. I was talking about those girls.
Oh, you're talking about cowboy butts, huh? Hey, there you go.
I'm not
There you
looking
go.
at butts, honey, I promise.
You'd have to be at the rodeo. Actually, you'd have to be at the rodeo, and she's actually been a doll. She's been doing lots of helping for me.
Except for when she got away.
Except for really, it's because I panicked. Okay.
You filed the police.
So this is going to get to bring a topic of discussion. Since we've got this, and I have got the time, y'all just don't know. I made my girl's eyes water because she was like, oh my God, I'm so loved. And I can't believe you just did this all in the same notion. Because first of all, I wanted to make sure I sat my eyeballs on her before I considered the fact that she was not gone. So I don't care who you are, what age you are, your parents should always know where you are.
I'm
And
22.
that you're okay. This is why, okay? There are many instances in times where people have had accidents and run off the road. They've had things happen while they were out doing things with their friends. And so if people don't know outside of that, then it was a whole lot better. I did probably panic a little bit because I'm a person, if you know me, I run a nonprofit. My nonprofit deals with domestic violence of all types. So we deal with human trafficking, sex trafficking, abductions. We deal with gun violence. We deal with all kinds of things that go on. You'd be surprised how many different little things can happen. So my little brain went, my daughter, who's been talking to me every day and seeing me every day, I didn't see her for 3 days. I did not see her, did not talk to her, did not know where she was for 3 days. Now, in my defense, the old saying of you have to be missing 48 hours before you call the police is a lie. It's a lie. And it's a good thing that it's a lie. And let me raise some awareness with this. Because parents that are out there with kids that are disappearing, don't wait 48 hours. Don't wait 24 hours. If you think that your kid has disappeared and is in harm's way, immediately make a missing persons report. That is the best thing you could ever do. As a matter of fact, I had people asking me how come I didn't do it earlier than 3 days. Because something really could have happened to her.
Well, they say you can't report it for 48 hours. They also say if they're over the age of 17, they're not considered missing. They're considered a runaway.
Nope.
Then they say if in order to find somebody who's missing, the first 48 hours are the most crucial hours in an investigation. So why are you making people wait 48 hours
They
before
don't.
they even make the report?
People that tell you that are misinformed and misconstrued, because if you look up online, you can find that it will tell you that the sooner you do it, the better. See, these are some of the
police.
This is some of the research that we do. And this is why. Okay, so if they tell you that you can't do it in 42 hours, that's just because they don't want to deal with paperwork. They don't want to send an officer out, and they don't want to deal with the stuff. Because let me tell you what, they told me there's never too early a time. The officer that came out was very polite and very cordial about it. And if they are not, you make sure you get that officer's badge number and his stuff and make sure you keep track of this. Because everybody should have that same option. So if they're looking at you, telling you have to wait 48 hours, you can bald-faced call them a liar.
Well, I made a report because when Destiny did her thing, she was involved with some girls that were involved with sex trafficking, and they were trying to get her to do things that
and
fall
this is
in that
exactly
line.
why it's important to get it in the first 24 to 48 hours.
I gave them an apartment number, an address, descriptions, details, and they told me that it would take weeks for them to investigate. Weeks.
That's just because they just didn't want to do the job. Do you remember that time I told you about choice? They have choice.
Yeah.
They have choice. Now you get you a good one and he'll make the right choice. You get you another one and well, he might be a little lazy, unfortunately. I don't say that there are a whole bunch of them out there, but there are times when there are. And so, it really makes it hard on some of us, but everyone should have that same thing. So when I went to doing it, I did investigate very well to know that you do not have to wait 48 hours. The quicker you have the description and the things that are going on, the quicker they can move.
I gave them everything though. And then they told me she was an adult, that they couldn't do anything unless they physically spoke to her, and that they needed to speak to her in person, that they could not take a report over the phone or come to her location.
Okay, so the next time that happens, I want you to get that officer's badge. Because I would talk to somebody about that, because I'm telling you right now, they came out, they gave me no problem. Here's the funny thing is, I didn't know what she wore. I didn't know who she left with. I didn't even know exactly what time she had left. All I knew was my daughter her dad had walked her home because she lives a block away from me. I've been blessed with the fact she's moved so close that I see her on a regular now. And so it was very out of character for as of recently. So it just really bothered me. And this was all I could think. My daughter is giving. And my daughter is go out and take care of the community and people, and she'll give her heart and her everything to you. So my daughter went to help a friend who needed some assistance and some help. And when we have mental issues, sometimes our mentality goes a little off. And I know this. And so because I've had this issue, we had somebody in our family that had mental issues. She'd been staying with me. And she went off her rocker, and I'm sorry to say it, she went off. When she went off, I called to get assistance, and that made it worse. Because then I was the bad person, and then I was under attack. And so to me, the experience was I need to make sure my daughter was safe, because she was trying to help somebody. And if this person decided all of a sudden they didn't want assistance, where was she?
Mm-hmm.
And so it just really was that I pointed out, how important it is. So in this instance, we also found out about a friend of mine's friend had lost her son. And this is why. He said, I'm going such and such place. He never made it to such and such place. Good thing they knew where he was going, because they looked between and found him. They had found his body. There had been an accident. And so that was because they knew where he was going, even though he was like 18 or 19 years old, he was, able to be found. And so it was just something that I had pointed out to my daughter. I told her, I'm sure you think I'm a helicopter mom. Because she looked at me and said, why did you panic? I didn't panic. I waited 3 days.
Mom, you almost had half of Houston after her.
No. Okay. So that is just my benefit. And I do want to give a shout out, because let me tell you what. Had she really been missing, I would have been able to find her in a lick of time, because all of the community's workers were coming together. Houston's Unsolved Homicides, Real Talk Radio, the Movement Against Domestic Violence, my radio show, all of these people in the area, and everybody was ready to get flyers, hit the streets, go looking where she was last pinned. Because, Facebook has this amazing thing that when you log on and you're on it, it shows your location. And so you can find out where you last were.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, she was at Telephone in Belford area. That's like on the outside circle of,
Yeah.
And so all I could think is, ooh. So did her fella eventually. He was like, I was all right till I started talking to you, Mom.
See, what's funny is I was talking to my friends with a few hours before you told me that Candace was found and everything. And I was like, oh yeah, apparently she was over there by telephone in Belford. My mom said that's not a good neighborhood. Melanie went, that's where I live! I was like, well, you don't live in a good neighborhood.
The
That's
bad
okay.
thing about the
But we
locator,
don't live
though-
we don't live in a good neighborhood either. We actually live in a very bad area.
To say you say Meadow Creek or Meadowbrook area to certain people, and they're like, ooh.
Yeah, they're like, no, thank you. I'm not coming nowhere near you. I hear gunshots all the time.
Gunshots across your house.
The locator's good, but one thing, when somebody is abducted, that's the first thing they make them get rid of
Mhm.
is their cell phone. So you might be able to trace the last
location,
of
but
their cell phone.
yeah,
But there's got to be other ways, and I know they've came out with equipment. Like a friend of mine has glasses that have Bluetooth in them, and they have a tracker in them.
oh, that's
Okay,
smart.
but you're telling the whole freaking world about them. So now when somebody gets taken, take off your glasses. They make bracelets
Or
that
like-
have a tracker in it.
Yeah.
Take off if you're telling these people where we're hiding this stuff, they're going to go down the list. You can't have glasses. You can't have your cell phone. Take off your bra. Remove your bracelet. Take off your shoes.
Even
because
if they don't know about it, sometimes they're just big bullies and they go, oh, you know what? Take off your glasses because I want to break them. And they'll just take them off and step on them just for the fun of it, just so you can't see.
Well, I know that we've got to figure out some way to be able to make a difference in the whole scene. And so we just need to do what we can to be able to raise the awareness, make it as plain and as simple as we can so that those that are affected can actually learn to do something about it. Because there's a lot of things that we don't know about. We don't know that there are places out there that can help. When I was going through it, I didn't know there were places. I was a teenager. I had no clue. I wasn't quite married yet, and thank God, y'all, with a big God that he sent my husband, because let me tell you, that first one, he was a doozy. When people talk about it, that's, our teenagers need to know that that's not love. Just because you're trying to get away from your parent, he says, I'm sorry, and he woos you all the other times, or she woos you all the other times, doesn't mean that it's love. And, as many teenage boys deal with it, just as well as teenage girls.
I had a friend that did not know that men could be raped. And then he thought that men could only be raped by other men.
See, there's a fact. And had I not educated her, she would not be able to educate that young man.
It
Ain't
wasn't
that
until
something?
long ago I didn't realize that either, because I'm like, how? If they're not, how does that work? So I had to really, really study that, because I'm like, how is that even possible?
Because the body reacts. So, that was one of the biggest discussions I had when I first hit the radio, when I made my nonprofit and people realized who I was around the Houston area, and I started coming on the shows and started talking about it, and I started raising awareness around the community. I really made some heads turn, because everybody thinks about child abuse. They think about pedophiles. They think about the, intimate domestic violence. They think about emotional and financial abuse and mental abuse and all of this. They forget about rape. They forget about the senior citizens and the mentally ill that are or handicapped, that are incapable of making any kind of say so or difference or an awareness of it. Because see, I raised an awareness, and it was really, it was kind of crazy, because, and I'm gonna call him out on his red, and he was like, man, I knew men could do, he was, he knew men could be, abused. But when I really brought it to his attention, they go to these mentally ill institutes and what is it called? Long-term life or long-term care facilities and stuff like that. And they think about the fact that the girls and the ladies in there, you can find out when they've been messed with.
Mhm.
Because why? Because if you don't use protection, you obviously have repercussions from it, because they still can get pregnant and all of these things, right? How many men are messed with? That was a question I brought up at a table full of survivors. And I kid you not, you'd have thought every one of them got whiplash, turning around to look at me and say, wait a minute, say that one more time. And it was a fact, because they've got no control over it. They've got no say so. And if you don't think that there is some wacky old women out there too, there are. There is wacky women just like there's wacky men. And so, it was a horrible thought that it really could go on. And it raised a big awareness on how we need to keep an eye on our ones that are in long-term care.
And children go through a lot of things too. I have a friend that was raped as a child by a family member, and their only way to be able to deal with it is to crack jokes about it.
I don't find that's a good way. I think we should, maybe we can find a way to help with the healing process of this, and make it to where people don't have to find that you have to crack a joke or make fun of it or light of it, because it's really a very, very serious conversation. It's, for the lack of better words, it's really not a laughing matter.
Mm-mm.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it needs to bring an awareness that, we take to heart that children matter. We need to take to heart that those that cannot take care of themselves need to have somebody else taking care of them. We just got to make sure that things change. And that is why we do our show, as well as fashion and art and everything, because we want to use our fashion and art and our gifts to be able to raise an awareness. And believe it or not, y'all, seriously, if you look at my TikTok, my secret job perfect job I ever want to do is art therapist. And it was crazy because it really did it. And it was like, oh, yes. Art therapy is part of one of the curriculums that we're going to use with the movement against domestic violence of all types.
One of the classes I'm going to be able to help on, right?
Yes. We want to use art therapy. When I say art therapy, I mean literally every design or facet of art. Because if you think about it, how many people have told you that they've made it because of music? Or they made it through this because they drew? Or they made it through this because they started designing? Or they made it through this because they started painting? Or
I have a friend that lost somebody that they were really close with in their family. It was one of their cousins that was like their best friend. And she was like, when it first happened, I didn't go to therapy. Spotify was my therapy.
See? So music, art. Music is art. It's a melody. It can make so much go on.
It's a form of communication without using words.
There you go. Just like drawing and things like that. I remember a day when we used to kind of lee away from things like graffiti and stuff. But if you think about it, those were artists trying to get something out, get something known, even if it was themselves. They wanted to feel something different than what they were feeling. And it was a type of expression for them.
And if you go downtown and you see some of the art that's like on bridges and stuff, a lot of it is actual art. Some of it is tags and stuff, but there's actual paintings and murals and stuff up that are made with spray cans and made by people who do graffiti. And
so, that is what our show is about, is art therapy. That's that. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll change my thing. No, I'm serious. Crazy Creativity with Ms. Wendy Quick every Tuesday from 8:30 to 9:30 here on Real Talk 100 radio station. where we talk everything from art to fashion to music to runway to designs to just downright what's in our personal lives sometimes just because it's real talk, y'all.
I have an idea.
And to top it off, we promote the awareness and education against domestic violence. We want to make sure that we get as much awareness and education out there so that we can stop the stigma that is abuse of all different types. With our nonprofit that we work, are actually nonprofits that we work with, Movement Against Domestic Violence of all types. And I'm just going to go ahead and say Houston's Angels too, because they're big partners with us, just like Reviving Restoring Pearls has been. And I think our community does really good with some of these places. You know, a lot of people don't hear about us much, but I guarantee you we're doing the work. We're doing the groundwork. We're not in it for the glory and the spotlight. We're in it to get the work done. If there's any spotlight or any glory, it's for awareness and education and making sure that those that are affected by it get to heal, get the help that they need, and by golly, get to be able to make the voice that they are be heard. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Well, we thank you for joining us another week here at Crazy Creativity with Ms. Wendy Quick. Oh, guys, somebody's over here waving at me over here. Yes.
I have an idea. Since you want to do something on art therapy, we could do a paint with me video where we do a paint tutorial.
Oh, yeah?
Here, and like play some soft music and talk about like.
Oh, so you just really want to go through a therapeutic hour or something, huh?
Like just a calm show.
I like that show idea.
Paint.
That's kind of a good idea, maybe. And hopefully, look, y'all, if you are an artist, a designer, a music artist, a painter, if you are a model, want to get into any of these things, makeup, hair, anything.
Comedian?
I have not said comedian yet.
Comedian is a type of vocal art.
Looky there. Or if you're a comedian and you'd like to come on to our show, we would love to have you here on Crazy Creativity with Ms. Wendy Quick and her co-host, the Quick Girls.
I'm gonna try to get Dad on here. He's technically a comedian.
He is a comedian. He got some really funny jokes, y'all. He do.
I get my jokes from my dad.
He got some really funny jokes. He'll have you rolling and laughing. Anyway, we look forward to seeing you next week. We love you all. Have a good week. Have a blessed week. If you see something, say something, speak up and speak out. It's never too early and never too late. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Crazy Creativity with Wendy Quick will be back next Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. You guys like, follow, share, tag the page. Grow awareness of everything that she does with her show. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is Real Talk 100 radio station. Good night.
At this point, we gotta create a jingle just to play at the end.
Yeah, I need to get some kind of jingle. And look, I could have used my little phone thing. Then I could have plugged in over there and ran the thing. But I wouldn't have been able to answer.
Crazy creativity.